I could clunk him on the head with this.
Don't do that.
Hey! What's the matter? Look upset.
I was born upset.
Where did you learn that?
In Pittsburgh. Oh. Just take care of number one, huh?
That's right. Doesn't everybody?
No. No. You learn that, you may start coming alive from the waist up. Well, you're a wonderful dancer, Mr. Munn.
Well, if I'm going to judge your horse flesh, you don't shake a mean leg yourself.
Jonesy, you're quite a gal.
From the Beverly Hilton Hotel, the American Film Institute presents a salute to Barbara Stanwyck. Tonight, members of the motion picture and television community have gathered for the presentation of the American Film Institute Life Achievement Award, the highest honor for a career in film. A celebration starring Ann Markham, Eve Arden, Linda Evans, John Forsythe, Charlton Heston, Shirley MacLaine, Fred McMurray, Walter Matthau, Robert Wagner, and our host, Jane Fonda.
Here to welcome AFI's 142,000 members and television viewers all over the world to our 15th Annual Life Achievement Award. Ladies and gentlemen, our host, Jane Fonda.
I only made one movie with Barbara Stanwyck. It was my second film, and it was called A Walk on the Wild Side. Barbara played the owner of a New Orleans bordello, and I was one of her new recruits, a character named Kitty Twist. And I promise you, we are not going to show any clips from that film tonight. We have a first this year. History will record that Barbara Stanwyck is the first of the 15 honorees of the American Film Institute Life Achievement Award to lift a barbell to get in shape for this dinner. And I swear to God I didn't put her up to it. I didn't do it. But she did throw her back out and has been in the St. John's Hospital in considerable pain. But she has come here from the hospital to be with us tonight. She is backstage watching everything. And she is going to join us later. In 1929, United Artists sent a private railroad car to New York to bring a young chorus girl turned actress across the country. When she got to Hollywood, the director of her first film spent 2 weeks rearranging the lighting, positioning her in front of the tapestries, until finally he decided it was hopeless. No matter what he did, she just wouldn't look the way a movie star is supposed to look. Now it's 60 years and over 80 films later, plus the television work. She's been directed by virtually every great in Hollywood. As for her leading men, well, there's Cary Grant, Jimmy Stewart, Spencer Tracy. Those are the ones she missed. Everybody else she's covered. There's Clark Gable, Gary Cooper, Burt Lancaster, Kirk Douglas, the Roberts, Taylor, Ryan, and Preston, Cagney, Bogart, my dad, Elvis Presley. She's won 3 Emmys. She's been nominated 4 times for an Oscar. She's been elected to the National Cowboy Hall of Fame. She's been made an honorary stunt woman and a Blackfoot Indian princess called Princess Many Victories. Somebody asked me recently if I remembered the first time I met Barbara. I remember that the woman my father worked with would sit me on her lap and call me Lady Jane. I remember the friend he said was like nobody else that he'd ever met. And I remember her films. I've known her a little bit better than most, and so I'm luckier than most. But it's been said that Barbara Stanwyck's greatest talent is that she made sure we all knew her, no matter who she was playing up there. She was like regular people, or at least what we hoped regular people were like. And here's how she got there. She was born in Brooklyn, New York, and christened Ruby Stevens. The youngest of 5 children, she was orphaned by the age of 4. Her sister Millie worked as a chorus girl to pay foster homes for Ruby's care. Moving from family to family, an active imagination was Ruby's best friend. In 1918, vaudeville was in its heyday. When her sister landed a job in a New York revue, Ruby was backstage at every show. After years of watching from the wings, she knew what she wanted. She wasted no time. Listing her sister's experience as her own, she landed her first job as a chorus girl. She was 15 years old. Soon she was on Broadway as one of 16 Keep Cool cuties. Her first dramatic role was in The Noose. Her director told her, "Ruby Stevens sounds like a burlesque queen." Clearly, she was a serious actress. She became Barbara Stanwyck. Critical acclaim in the hit play Burlesque opened the door to Hollywood. Her first movies were failures. She said, "No stink bomb ever emptied the theaters faster than those flops." Then she met Frank Capra. The young director saw in her a natural actress who performed with no tricks or obvious technique. He cast her in Ladies of Leisure.
We can't have everything.
And that was only the beginning.
I suppose you're wondering what I was doing at that party. Well, brother, that's my racket. I'm a party girl. Do you know what that is?
I never go to parties.
Oh, it's too bad. Well, in case you ever do, and you need a girl, I'm the one you call for. I'm the filler in.
Well,
I was just trying to figure you out.
can't you? You're so wise.
You've been here 3 times, and you haven't propositioned me once.
Is that unusual?
It's impossible. Hallelujah, my people. Bless you, my friends. I thank the Lord that you are here, for I love every one of you. And particularly this blind boy who shames us all with a shining example of faith. And I would take you into my arms and whisper in your ears the sweet secret of salvation. Hallelujah! Hallelujah! John, look at me. You want to be honest, don't you? Well, you don't have to die to keep the John Doe ideal. Someone already died for that once. The first John Doe. And he's kept that ideal alive for nearly 2,000 years. It was he who kept it alive in them. And he'll go on keeping it alive forever and always. For every John Doe movement these men kill, a new one will be born. That's why those bells are ringing, John. They're calling to us. Not to give up, but to keep on fighting, to keep on pitching. Oh, don't you see, darling? This is no time to give up. You and I, John, we... Oh, no. No, John. If you die, I want to die, too.
Mrs. Dallas, Mr. Dallas has no intention of any change regarding your daughter.
Oh, he hasn't. Then what's he been trying to win her away for? taking her to fine hotels, country places, townhouses, making her dissatisfied with the kind of things I've been giving her. Does he think I don't see what he's after? Well, he'll never get away with it, and I'll tell you why, because I'm going to give her the same things. Everything her heart's been set on. Fine hotels, fancy friends. She's going to have them all, only I'm going to give them to her, and he's going to pay for them. If he's got any extra increases, he can just hand them over, and if he don't, maybe I'll get a lawyer and bring in the name of that highfalutin widow.
But Mrs. Dallas...
I won't keep you any longer, Mr. Morley. Thank you very much. Just see the check is mailed to the same place. That's all the benefits I want.
He's a nice fella, your father.
He's a good card player, too.
You think so? I don't want to be rude, but I thought he seemed a little uneven.
He's more uneven sometimes than others.
Well, that's what makes him uneven, of course. Now, you, on the other hand, with a little coaching, you could be terrific.
Do you really think so?
Yes, you have a definite nose.
Oh, I'm glad you like it. Do you like any of the rest of me?
Oh, what I meant was card playing.
I know
like
what you meant. I was just flirting with you.
Oh.
You're not going to faint, are you?
Who, me? It's that perfume.
Oh.
Do you think they're dancing any place on board?
Don't you think we ought to go to bed?
You're certainly a funny girl for anybody to meet who's just been up the Amazon for a year.
Good thing you weren't up there 2 years. Come on.
Fire and Double Indemnity were both written by the recipient of the 1986 Life Achievement Award. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Billy Wilder.
About 3 months ago, I got a new office, and I looked at some old papers, and I found there the double indemnity file. I had no idea how long ago we made that picture. I will not mention the year, but I'll give you a hint. The #1 song on the hit parade was How Much Is That Doggy in the Window? Barbara, wherever you are, there's going to be a lot of praise heaped on you. People are going to be just as generous as they possibly can, and you well deserve it. Personally, I would like to say I learned one thing many years ago. Never say this is the best actor or the best actress I've ever worked with. Because the next time you want to star, he or she is going to say, wait a minute, you said Stanwyck was the greatest. Now, what does that make me? Always say she is one of the 2 greatest stars you worked with. And whenever you approach the star, it says, you were the one I meant. Except, of course, for tonight. I hope nobody is watching me. She was the best.
Perhaps I shouldn't have mentioned it, Miss O'Shea, but I'm merely trying to point out the fact that the success of our enterprise is at stake. I want you to cooperate. I want you to leave.
Oh, all right, I'll go. But if I'm going to go anyway, I guess I might as well spill it.
Spill it. Spill what?
Why do you suppose I came here in the first place?
For the help of the research.
I did not. I came on account of you.
Me?
And not on account of you needed some slang. On account of because I wanted to see you again.
Miss O'Shea, the construction on account of because outrages every grammatical law.
So what? I came on account of because I couldn't stop thinking about you after you left my dressing room. On account of because I thought you were big and cute and pretty.
Pretty?
Yeah, I mean you. Oh, maybe I'm just crazy, but to me you're a regular yum-yum type.
Yum-yum.
Yeah, don't you know what that means?
No, we never got to that.
Well, we got to it now, and I'm glad it's out. I don't give a hoop whether the others went for me. You're the one I'm wacky about, just plain wacky. Can you understand that?
Please, Miss O'Shea.
Please, nothing. Maybe you can generate or whatever it is for all that press business, but I can't. I'm too tall.
What are you doing?
Oh, you'll find it.
Those are Professor Gerkekoff's reference books.
No,
and they're very...
just too bad. Oh, that's perfect.
What are you going to do?
Come here. I'm going to show you what Yum Yum is. Here's Yum. Here's the other Yum. And here's Yum Yum.
What you tell me was engraved on that anklet?
That's my name.
As for instance?
Phyllis.
Phyllis, huh? I think I like that.
But you're not sure.
Well, I have to drive it around the block a couple of times.
Mr. Neff, why don't you drop by tomorrow evening around 8:30? He'll be in then.
Who?
My husband. You were anxious to talk to him, weren't you?
Yeah, I was, but I'm sort of getting over the idea, if you know what I mean.
There's a speed limit in this state, Mr. Neff. 45 miles an hour.
How fast was I going, officer?
I'd say around 90.
Suppose you get down off your motorcycle and give me a ticket.
Suppose I let you off with a warning this time.
Suppose it doesn't take.
Suppose I have to whack you over the knuckles.
Suppose I bust out crying and put my head on your shoulder.
Suppose you try putting it on my husband's shoulder.
That tears it. $8:30 tomorrow evening, then.
That's what I suggested.
You'll be here, too?
I guess so. I usually am.
Same chair, same perfume, same anklet?
I wonder if I know what you mean.
I wonder if you wonder.
Leona.
Yes?
I want you to do something for me.
Will you forgive me first, Henry, will you?
I want you to try. Listen to me, Leona. I want you to try to get out of bed.
I can't.
You've got to. I want you to get out of that bed and walk to the window. I want you to scream out in the street, Leona.
I can't move, Henry. I'm too frightened.
Keep trying. Otherwise, you've only got 3 more minutes to live. Don't talk to me anymore. Just get out of that bed. I confess everything. Everything. I did see you from your father, and I was so desperate I even tried. I arranged to have you...
Henry! Henry, there's somebody coming up the stairs!
Get out of that bed!
No, I can't!
Please, Leona, I'll find them if they get me. They'll know. They'll find out tomorrow.
Move along, please. I got the group here. You too, lady.
Oh, please, let me see her face when he kisses her, please.
In 1965, a casting call went out for an actress to play Barbara Stanwyck's daughter in a new television series. The young girl they found has grown into one of the biggest stars of television. Ladies and gentlemen, Linda Evans. When I was told that I was going to play Audra on The Big Valley, I was thrilled. Not just because I got the part, but because I knew that Barbara Stanwyck was going to be my mother. So a few months later, while we were shooting, I noticed that she was watching what I was doing.
or trying to do. And she pulled me aside and she said, honey, you need more presents. Well, I didn't know what she was talking about. She said, you know, presents. I said, oh, presents. Well, I didn't have a clue, and she knew it. So she said, look, in your next take, I'll show you. I said, oh, thank you. So I was standing behind the door, waiting to make my entrance into the set, and she was standing behind me, and I was waiting for her to tell me. And the camera started rolling, and my cue was coming, and she still hadn't said anything. All of a sudden, the director yelled, action. And just about as I was going to go on, she picked up her foot, kicked me in the butt with her boot, and I went flying onto the set, and she said, now that's presents. I also remember another time while we were working. My mom had just passed away, and Missy knew what I was going through. One day we were on the set, and not talking about it, we were just sitting there. And suddenly she turned around and she looked at me for a long time. And she said, well, I guess I'll just have to be your mom from now on. And she has been. She's been there to help me and to guide me whenever I've asked her. And Missy, I want you to know how much that means to me and how important you are to me. I love you.
Ladies and gentlemen, Walter Matthau.
I never worked with Barbara Stanwyck. I was just one of those fellas who used to sit out there in the dark and watch her. I remember seeing her in Annie Oakley and Stella Dallas and Ball of Fire. But the one moment that stuck always in my head was from a picture she did called The File of Thelma Jordan. I couldn't remember the plot very well, so I looked it up. Thelma Jordan, mistress for a cheap crook, is on the make for her aunt's inheritance and uses a naive assistant district attorney as a fall guy so she can kill the old lady. Now, you'd think that you'd remember something like that. But I just remember this one moment when Barbara Stanwyck kissed Wendell Corey for the first time. It was a pretty good kiss, at least from where I was sitting. And after it was over, she looked up at him and she said, maybe I'm just a dame and didn't know it. Now, why that particular moment stuck with me, I'm not sure. Maybe it's because I never expected Wendell Corey to have that kind of an effect on women. Or maybe it was because Barbara Stanwyck was showing me something that I've never seen before on film. I had seen bad girls and I had seen good girls, but I've never seen it all done at the same time. Here was an actress who never played just one side of her part. She never played a villain or a heroine. She just played the truth and let her characters speak for themselves. In her first big hit, Ladies of Leisure, she tells an ogling admirer, take a good look, it's free. And as a critic once wrote, it was never free, but she always made it seem reasonable. Because when she was good, she was very, very good. But when she was bad, She was terrific.
I don't want no whiskey. You drinking, mate?
What if I am?
Well,
if I want to drink whiskey, I'll drink it.
That'll teach you, Jeremiah. Never ask a lady personal questions. Shut up!
He drives me cuckoo sometimes. What does he think I am, Red Riding Hood?
Get man. Get hot. It's good for what ails you.
Aren't there any more comfortable men in this world? Now they're all little and nervous like sparrows or big and worried like sick bears. Men.
Women.
I loved you, Walter, and I hated him. But I wasn't going to do anything about it, not until I met you. You planned the whole thing. I only wanted him dead.
I'm the one that fixed it so he was dead. Is that what you're telling me?
And nobody's pulling out. We went into this together and we're coming out at the end together. It's straight down the line for both of us. Remember? Now, Sam. Do it now. Set me free. Set both of us free.
He fell down the stairs and fractured his skull. That's how he died. Everybody knows what a heavy drinker he was. Oh, Sam, it can be so easy.
Extraordinary thing your father did. He gave me $50,000 outright and then proposed to me for the first time.
It's yours. Why do you marry him?
Perhaps for love of the man, or perhaps for love of the Furies.
You told her.
She has.
Said it was a thing I'd tell her myself.
Temple, I knew how difficult it would be for you. It was my wish to ease it for you, to help you, to smooth it.
Daughter, I warned her Flo would be a friend to you. She yanked the blinkers off of me and made me see what an ornery old moss horn I was to.
To work you so very hard, my dear, to compel such self-sacrifice of you. So it's all been wonderfully arranged. Mr. Bailey has a competent man on his way here now to take the load of running the Furies from you.
It's fitting.
He'll evict the squatters, as Mr. Anaheim insists. All of the squatters, including the Ferreras.
No. Have your word they're not to be touched.
My dear, the entire territory will envy you because you're to make the wonderful grand tour of Europe. I envy you myself. To see all that for the first time. And, my dear, please remember, there will always be room for you at the Furies. There will always be a room for her, won't there, Temple?
Why didn't you shoot again, baby? Don't tell me it's because you've been in love with me all this time.
No, I never loved you, Walter, not you or anybody else. I'm rotten to the heart. I used you just as you said. That's all you ever meant to me. Until a minute ago, when I couldn't fire that second shot. I never thought that could happen to me.
Sorry, baby, I'm not buying.
I'm not asking you to buy. Just hold me close.
Goodbye, baby.
Ladies and gentlemen, the star of Double Indemnity, Fred McMurray.
I was lucky enough to make 4 pictures with Barbara. The first one, I was a district attorney, and I sent her to jail. In the second one, I shot her. And in the third picture, I turned her down for another woman. And in the last picture, I sent her over the waterfall.
And they were still saying I was the all-American boy at that time. All those pictures had one thing in common. In every one of them, the character I played fell in love with Barbara. And I did too.
There are many colleagues, friends, and admirers of Barbara Stanwyck in the room tonight. First, the director of the American Film Institute, Gene Furstenberg.
For the third year, the Remy Martin Foundation is presenting a scholarship to the outstanding fellow at the Center for Advanced Film and Television Studies. Tonight, we're proud to recognize the winner of this year's Remy Martin Foundation Scholarship in the name of Barbara Stanwyck, Mr. Carl Franklin.
Mr. John Forsythe.
I never had the good fortune to work with Barbara Stanwyck in a movie, but I did play a scene with her on our television show, Dynasty. And normally I'm a fairly unflappable kind of a guy, but I was so nervous on this I just came apart at the seams. I couldn't remember my lines, and those lines I did remember were so unintelligible it didn't make sense. She sensed that, of course. While they were lighting, she took me on the side, told me two very funny and rather disreputable jokes. And when I stopped laughing, I remembered all the dialogue that I had to. We did the scene, and we went out on the floor and we danced. You guessed it, of course, she led. And when it was all over, she had won me all over again. So thank you, Missy, for the waltz.
They co-starred in the television series The Colbys. The president of the American Film Institute, Charlton Heston.
When George Stevens said that Miss Stanwyck had pulled her back, preparing for the evening, I wasn't worried. If Barbara Stanwyck says she's going to be here, it's as sure as God in taxes, she will be here. She is a totally dedicated professional, a warm, loyal friend, and an absolutely superb woman. Missy, God bless you.
Miss Shirley MacLaine.
Miss Stanwyck, during my years as a chorus girl, when I was in the back line, dancing sometimes around refrigerators to make a living, I would go to the movies and I would sit in the dark and I would watch you grace the screen, and I would remember that I had read that you were a keep cool cutie and that you had been the third light to the left in a human chandelier. That gave me courage, and you have shed light for me for 40 years.
He co-starred with Barbara Stanwyck in the 1953 picture Titanic. Mr. Robert Wagner.
When I was cast in Titanic, I obviously knew I was going to have the opportunity of working with a great actress. What I didn't count on was I was going to be working with one of the greatest ladies that I've ever met and one of the greatest friends that I've ever known. Barbara, it's an honor to be a part of your life.
Miss Anne Margaret.
I will never forget the 1983 Emmy Awards. That was the year that Missy won for the Thornbirds, and I was nominated. I was one of the nominees. She walked to the podium, she thanked everyone, and then she complimented me on my performance in Who Will Love My Children. That moment, I will cherish the rest of my life. Thank you, Missy.
Miss Eve Arden.
I only did one picture with Barbara. It was called My Reputation. And this morning I wrote some lovely things about her. I was going to say that she was a lovely, wonderful girl to work with, and we had such fun. But after watching her kill off all those men, Barbara, I'm sorry.
The recipient of the 1983 Life Achievement Award and one of the world's most gifted and beloved filmmakers, Mr. John Huston.
I never met Barbara Stanwyck in the flesh. I've admired her from afar over the years. As you saw, my father made a film with her. I remember him saying, she is one of the grandest women and one of the greatest actresses I've ever worked with. I drink for that.
Co-chairman, Mr. George Stevens, Jr.
The American Film Institute honors her tonight for the example of her professionalism, for the courage that remains even tonight so much a part of her, and for the determination and steely confidence that enabled her, a woman in a man's industry, to get where she was going. That determination is legendary. She finished a picture once and gave a set of gold cufflinks to her director. A couple of people on the set observed, you know, he only wears short-sleeve shirts. Another said, he better get his wrists pierced. One of her first producers said, you will live and die as a chorus girl. Said she, don't underestimate me. I'm a tough broad from Brooklyn. Not long after that, a critic would write of the astonishing performance of a little tap-dancing beauty who has in her the soul of an artist. It is that spirit of a great artist that we honor tonight. It is preserved in 88 motion pictures and over 200 television programs. It is a spirit that will shine for as long as films are shown. Barbara Stanwyck has lived the ancient motto, to love the beautiful, to desire the good, to do the best. Ladies and gentlemen, Miss Barbara Stanwyck.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. And honest to God, I can't walk on water. Thank you very, very much. And I thank the American Film Institute for this wonderful, wonderful evening. Many, many years ago, Joseph Skink brought me out here in the beginning of talkies to make some films for United Artists. I made one film which bombed. I then went over to Columbia. I bombed there. And I thought, that's it, I better go back to the theater. But there was a man at Columbia, and he saw something, thank God. His name was Frank Capra. He taught me what film was all about, and he taught me what film could do for me and what I could do for film. He took me to the editing room, the property room, even where they make the cost sheets. I knew, before I started, I knew all that. And then each day was a learning process. And it was wonderful. That's why I'm here tonight, Mr. Frank Capra. From then on, other directors, wonderful directors. George Stevens Sr., Frank Capra, of course. Billy Wilder, who taught me to kill. Thank God for him. And I came across so many people who, they gave so much to me of themselves. All along the way, these people have been so wonderful to me. And I have tried, in my own way, to help other people. And it's great fun to do it, believe me. And it's very rewarding when you see the climax. It's a wonderful, wonderful feeling. I love doing it. To all the people who have put me here, they're all part of this. Without them, forget it. The wonderful writers. Oh, God, how important they are. And the directors and the wonderful actors, actresses I've been with. Every one I have learned something from. And I hope I can learn more. And before I say goodnight, a tiny, tiny little line from an old Irish prayer. May the good Lord keep his arms around all of you, always. Thank you.